Man is disturbed, not by things, but by the view he takes of them. Epictetus. Stoics recognize the power of perspective. External circumstances are, by their very nature, beyond our control. What we can control is our interpretation of those circumstances. The complainer is someone who constantly focuses on what's wrong, always blaming external events, people, or conditions for their misfortune. They perceive the world as unfair, chaotic, or hostile, and their complaints become an endless cycle that drags others into their negativity. Why avoid them? The complainer sees the world as something to be battled, and by surrounding yourself with them, you risk absorbing their pessimistic views. Instead of focusing on what you can control, your responses, your actions, your thoughts, you'll be constantly bogged down by what others believe is beyond their control. Stoic takeaway. Avoiding the complainer means recognizing that it is not the world that disturbs us, but our judgments of it. Seek to surround yourself with those who cultivate virtue through acceptance and action, not through constant lamentation over what can't be changed. Envy is the ulcer of the soul. Socrates. The envious are not simply those who feel a momentary pang of jealousy. They are people who consistently resent others for their success, status, or happiness. They focus on comparing themselves to others and find discomfort in anyone's achievements that exceed their own. In the realm of Stoicism, envy is a destructive emotion. It shows a lack of self-acceptance and an inability to focus on what truly matters, our own growth and virtues. Why avoid them? The envious person's mindset is rooted in scarcity. They believe there's not enough to go around. This forces them to live in constant competition, fostering bitterness and undermining authentic relationships. Stoic takeaway. To avoid the envious, practice focusing on your own progress and detaching from the idea of external validation. Your journey toward virtue is not a race with others. The Stoic knows that happiness comes from within, from mastery over one's own character, not from comparing oneself to others. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. Epictetus, the people-pleaser, is someone who bases their identity on the approval of others. They are so focused on seeking external validation that they lose sight of their own values, principles, and desires. Their life is defined by a fear of rejection and an overwhelming need to please those around them. Why avoid them? When you surround yourself with people-pleasers, you may find yourself inadvertently drawn into their trap. If you become too focused on satisfying others, you risk losing touch with your own desires and values. In extreme cases, it may even lead to resentment or burnout, as constant self-sacrifice takes its toll. Stoic takeaway. The Stoic teaches that true freedom comes from independence from others, judgments, expectations, and approval. Seek to surround yourself with those who possess inner strength and are guided by their own moral compass, not by a desire to win the approval of others. Don't wait for the perfect moment to take action. There is no such thing as the perfect moment. Seneca. The procrastinator is someone who constantly delays action, often out of fear, laziness, or a desire to wait for the right time to act. They spend more time planning, thinking, or talking about what they should do, rather than taking any meaningful steps toward their goals. Why avoid them? Time is our most valuable resource. When you surround yourself with procrastinators, their inertia can slowly influence your own behavior. By putting off important tasks and delaying progress, you risk slipping into the same habits of inaction. Stoic takeaway. In Stoicism, time is precious. The only moment we truly have is the present one. Action is the antidote to procrastination. Seek to be around those who prioritize immediate action, who understand that the right time to act is now, not in some distant future. Do not spoil what you have by desiring what you have not. Remember that what you now have was once among the things you only hoped for. Epicurus. Cynics are people who view the world with suspicion, disbelief, and negativity. They trust no one and assume the worst in every situation. Their worldview is one of distrust and pessimism, where every opportunity is fraught with hidden dangers and every person is motivated by selfishness. Why avoid them? The cynic's constant skepticism can undermine your confidence and make you question every decision and relationship. While a healthy level of caution is necessary, excessive cynicism can paralyze us and keep us from seeing the good that exists in people and situations. Stoic takeaway. The Stoic philosophy encourages us to believe in the goodness of humanity while remaining cautious and discerning. Surround yourself with those who maintain a balanced perspective, who acknowledge human flaws but still trust in the possibility of virtue, progress, and goodwill. A man who is a slave to his passions is a slave to himself. Seneca. Narcissists believe the world revolves around them. Their sense of self-importance is inflated, and they often see others as mere tools to serve their needs. They crave admiration and validation, and their relationships are transactional, based on what they can gain from others. They lack empathy and are often dismissive of the feelings, needs, or perspectives of others. Why avoid them? Narcissists thrive on manipulation and control. Being around such people will drain your energy and damage your self-esteem, as they rarely recognize or appreciate the contributions of others. They are toxic because they are incapable of giving love or respect without demanding it in return. Stoic takeaway. The Stoic understands that true worth is not derived from external accolades or attention, but from internal virtues. Surround yourself with those who have a humble and grounded sense of self-worth, who are generous with their love and attention without expecting anything in return. Don't waste time on what you cannot control. Let the dramas of life unfold as they will, and focus on your own peace. Marcus Aurelius. Seekers are individuals who thrive on chaos, conflict, and emotional turbulence. They constantly stir the pot, creating drama for the sake of attention or entertainment. They are quick to escalate small issues into full crises, often involving others in their personal turmoil. Why avoid them? The drama seeker lives for emotional extremes, and they will try to drag you into it. This constant exposure to conflict and emotional upheaval prevents you from achieving the inner calm that Stoicism advocates. It will distract you from your true purpose and keep you stuck in cycles of stress and anxiety. Stoic takeaway. In Stoicism, peace of mind is paramount. To maintain tranquility, it's essential to avoid people who thrive on conflict and chaos. Seek out those who bring harmony and constructive energy, who resolve issues calmly and without unnecessary drama. Conclusion. Cultivating the right relationships. The Stoics understood that we are the average of the people we spend the most time with. Just as we must guard our thoughts and our actions, we must also be vigilant about the people who influence our lives. By consciously avoiding these 7 types of people: the complainer, the envious, the people pleaser, the procrastinator, the cynic, the narcissist, and the drama seeker, we protect our peace and focus on what truly matters. The path to wisdom is not just an internal journey. It also involves creating an environment that fosters growth, virtue, and tranquility. By surrounding ourselves with people who embody these qualities, we make the path forward much clearer, much easier, and ultimately more fulfilling.